I remember the exact moment when everything shifted. Even though nothing around me changed, the room looked the same. The noise outside stayed the same. My phone didn't lighten up. No dramatic sign, just a quiet feeling in my chest that said, "This is different now." I had spent so long thinking I was looking for love, chasing a feeling I thought would complete something missing inside me. But in the still moment, I understood something slowly and clearly. I didn't find love, I found you. Before that, my life was full but scattered. I was busy all the time, always moving, always planning the next thing, friends, work, goals, distractions. From the outside, everything looked fine. People would say I was doing well, that I was strong, independent, settled. And I believed it too. Most days, still, when the noise stopped at night, there was a quiet space I didn't know how to explain. Not loneliness exactly, more like waiting for something I couldn't name. I tried to name it anyway. I told myself I wanted love, romance, connection, something existing, something intense. I watched stories, listened to song, heard other people talk about it. So I followed that idea. I went there, people said love lives. I opened door that looked right. I stayed in place than I should have, hoping feeling would grow if I waited enough. Sometimes I forced myself to feel something just because it looked good on the surface, but it never felt calm. It always felt like effort, like acting in role I didn't fully understand. My heart stayed alert, guarded, tired. I kept thinking maybe love is supposed to feel like this. Maybe this constant thinking, fixing, adjusting is normal. Maybe peace comes later. Then you appeared in my life in a way that didn't try to impress me. No perfect timing, no big entry, just presence. Just simply you presence. Just a simple conversation that stayed with longer than should have. I didn't feel fireworks. I didn't feel rush. What I felt was strange and quiet, like my shoulder dropped without me noticing. At first, I ignored it. I told myself not to read too much into it. I had done that before. I knew how imagination could fill empty spaces. So I stayed practical, logical, careful. I treated you like a normal part of my day, but even something kept pulling my attention back, not loudly, softly, gently, like a hand resting on your back instead of grabbing your arm. I noticed how you thought changed. I stopped searching, I stopped comparing, I stopped asking when, how, or what. I started noticing a small thing instead. The tone of your voice, the pause in your words, the way silence didn't feel awkward. I felt more like myself without trying. I laughed without checking. If I sounded right, I spoke without editing every sentence in my head. That's when it hit me. Love, as I had understood it, always felt like something I had to reach for, something ahead of me, something earned. But with you, I felt like recognition, like remembering something I already knew, like coming home to a place I had never been before. I realized that all those years I said I was looking for love, I was actually learning how not to settle. I was learning what doesn't fit, what drains me, what looks good but feels wrong. Every disappointment shaped my understanding. Even when it hurts, every ending cleared a space. I didn't know how I would need. Without you, I didn't feel the need to prove anything. I didn't feel smaller or bigger, just steady, just real. There was no performance, no fear of saying the wrong thing, no constant checking of where I stand, and I could breathe normally. I could be quiet. I could be unsure without feeling weak. I didn't fall, I didn't crash, I didn't lose myself. I stayed exactly where I was, and you meet me there. That's when I understood the difference. Love is an idea. You are a person. Love is a word we use when we don't know how to explain connection. You were not feeling I changed. You are a present that stayed. I think that's why it is scared me a little. Not in dramatic way, in a real way. Because when something feels calm, there's no chaos to hide behind, no intensity to distract from truth. You cannot confuse peace with excitement. You have to face it honestly. There were moments I pulled back, not because the search was over, not because I found something perfect, but because I found something real. Someone real, like you, my love. You didn't arrive to change my life. You are arrived and my life adjusted on its way. My priorities softened, my expectations simplified. I cared less about being impressive and more about being present. I started listening more, feeling deeper, moving slower. I did not lose myself in you. I found parts of myself I had forgotten. That's the part people did not talk about. Real connection doesn't take you away from who you are, it brings you closer. It doesn't demand sacrifice, it invites honesty. It doesn't promise forever loudly, it shows up consciously. It, it doesn't know where this path leads. I am not writing a future I cannot control. I am not making promise out of fear. I am just here fully without hiding. And that feel like enough. If someone asks me what changed, I would not say I fell in love. I would say I stopped searching, I stopped chasing an idea, I stopped settling for almost. I didn't find love, I found you. And I finding you, I found calm, clarity, and a version of myself that feels grounded, open, and ready to stay present instead of running ahead. That's the truth, quite simple and real. There was a moment after the realization when I thought everything would suddenly become clear. Like once you understand something true, life becomes simple. But it didn't work that way. What changed was not the outside world. What changed was how I moved inside it. After finding you, I became more aware of myself, not in dramatic way, in small, quiet ways. In I noticed how I reacted to stress, how I spoke when I was tired, how I listened when I didn't have answer. Being around you didn't distract me from my flaws. It gently showed them to me without judgment. That was new. Before connection, I felt like escape, something to run into when life felt heavy. With you, I felt like standing still and finally looking at you. There were days I did not know how to act around the kind of easy. I was used to reading signs, decoding moods, guessing intention with you. Guessing wasn't needed. Words matched action, silence wasn't punishment. Space didn't mean distance. That took time for me to understand. Sometime I caught myself waiting for the moment thing would turn complicated. I had lived long enough to expect it. A misunderstanding, a shifted in tone, something unspoken, growing heavy. But instead, what I found was honesty. I started trusting moment instead of meaning. A shared laugh, a long pause, a look that didn't need explanation. There was also fear. I wouldn't pretend there wasn't. Not fear for losing you, but fear for being seen without armor. I had spent years becoming strong, independent, capable, but I hadn't spent enough time becoming open. You didn't weaken me, you softened me, and the softness felt risky at first. Yet, every time I leaned in even a little, the grounded held, I learned that safety doesn't announce itself. It so consistently. It listens without fixing. It stays present during discomfort. With you, even difficulty conversation didn't feel like battles. That changed how I spoke. how, how I stopped defending myself before being questioned. Something else shifted too. My idea of future became quieter. I did not imagine dramatic scenes of perfect outcome. I imagined ordinary days, morning light, simple routines, shared silence, and that surprised me. Being connected to you didn't make life existing in the way story describe. It made life honest, and honesty it learned is far more grounded than excitement. There were moments when old patterns tried to return, overthinking, pulling back, creating distance where none was needed. I recognize them now. I did not always stop them in time, but I noticed, and noticing was progress. What helped most was that I didn't feel alone in those moments. I didn't have to hide my confusion. I could say, I don't know why I feel this way, and that was enough. No pressure to resolve it immediately, no fear of being misunderstood. I realized that connection isn't about always feeling good. It's about feeling safe enough to be honest when you don't. With you, I didn't feel rushed to be define anything. Label felt unnecessary. Promise felt premature. What mattered was the present. The way time slowed when we talked. The way I felt more like myself after, not less. I started showing up differently in other area of my life too. More patience, less reactive, more grounded. The calm I found with you began to live inside me even when you weren't around. That's when I understood something important. The connection wasn't filling a gap, it was meeting me where I already stood. It wasn't saving me, it was walking beside me. I didn't need you to complete my life, I needed you to reflect it clearly. And that reflection wasn't always comfortable. It asked me to accountable, to slow down, to listen, to choose presence over distraction. But it never asked me to abandon yourself. That balance is rare. I do not know I don't know what name to give this connection. I don't need one. What I know is how it feels in my body. Steady, open, real. I know my breath settle when I think of you. I know my thought quiet instead of racing. I know that I am not searching anymore. Whatever come next, I want to meet it with the same honesty, without rushing, without fear driven stories, without running ahead of this moment, because what I found wasn't a fantasy. It was a person who met in the middle of my life, not at the edge of an idea, and that changed everything quietly, deeply for good. There is a quiet kind of ending that doesn't feel like loss or victory. It feels like arriving. That's where I am not. No big movement, no final sign, just a calm understanding that I don't need to keep searching anymore. I used to believe love had to feel intense to be real, loud emotion, constant thinking, highs and low that kept the heart busy. What I found with you didn't come with pressure. It didn't feel the need to rush or prove anything. It didn't feel smaller or bigger. I felt grounded, present, like I could stand exactly where I was without pretending. That changed how we move through. I don't wake up questioning my worth. I didn't replay moment in my head looking for hidden meaning. I stopped chasing excitement. I stopped believing that uncertainty was sign of depth. It stays simple. There were moments I felt afraid of that calm. It was used to chaos, used to comfort, used to writing for things fall apart. That trust changed everything. I didn't lose myself here. I found a steadier version of who I already was. Someone who listens more, someone who reacts less. I don't know what the future look like. I don't need to. I am not building promise out of fear. I am not holding on tightly to avoid loss. What matters is what exists right now, and right now feels real. If the story ended here, it would still be complete. Not because nothing will change, but because something true was already happens. I did not find love as an idea. I found a connection that let me breathe, stay present, and be honest without effort. I found you. Just my love, I found you. And for the first time, that feels like enough. That's the story ends here. I hope you enjoy this story. If you enjoy, drop a comment, like to this video, and subscribe to the channel. Join membership for upcoming videos like this. I hope you enjoy my narrative story. I hope you enjoy my voice.